to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com. Welcome to Moving and Motivating Radio.
Thanks for listening in. I'm Wade Taylor. And on today's show, we're going to talk about relationships. We're in the age of social media, but there is the IRL, in real life stuff going on. And that can sometimes be challenging, even though, that's something that all of us are involved in. And so on today's show, I'm happy to be joined by Allison Cohen. She's a licensed marriage, child, and family therapist. And we're going to be talking about the interesting situation that sometimes people in relationships actually feel quite alone if there's a disconnect in the relationship. And that's more common than people might think, isn't it, Allison?
It absolutely is. Every couple I've ever seen has expressed that same sentiment that, it feels lonelier being in a relationship with someone they don't feel connected to than actually being single.
Yeah, that is just, again, an unusual situation, or a usual situation that we would think would be unusual. And so tell us a little bit more about how you see that, how you've experienced that in your practice.
Absolutely. Over time in a long-term relationship, disconnect tends to stem from 6 things that I see repeatedly from couple to couple. First is a low emotional bank account. I know that sounds a little funky, but basically think of it this way. Every time you have a negative interaction with your partner, it creates a withdrawal in your emotional bank. Repeated withdrawals lower your motivation to resolve issues, to care about your partner's feelings. And this emotional bank is really the litmus test for the health of the relationship. So, for example, if you feel like you have $1 million in the account, the connection's great. It's really strong. $1,000 in the account signals major distress.
Yeah, and that is a fundamental thing. I know they've done studies, and even, let's say, toddlers understand reciprocity, understand fairness. And so it's an ingrained understanding in us, forever, right?
That's exactly right. And yet, the older we get, we start to forget about those really critical things.
Now, in remembering that, we, as you said, we forget about those critical things. But as we bring them to the forefront, we really need to accept responsibility for them as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. And this is a little bit of a controversial topic because when I say this to my clients, we get a bit of a strong reaction. You are actually responsible for your partner's happiness, not in life, but in the context of the relationship. So this means doing things that don't necessarily make sense to you or that you don't necessarily want to do because it's important to your partner. And as long as their wants or needs don't violate your ethics or morals, the answer should always be yes.
Yeah. You've got to understand that there's 2 of you and you do have responsibility going that way. And you also don't need to make sure that you don't minimize, what their feelings and everything's are. They're to be equal weight. You don't want to just give them lip service, right?
Exactly. Yeah, this is really critical. Opinions are subjective by nature, but when we criticize or challenge our partner's feelings, they either withdraw or they lash out at you. And they become less likely to share their feelings again. But we have this tendency to say, but I feel, therefore I'm right. And that's not how it works in the relationship. There's 2 of you, and there has to be space for both of your opinions.
Yeah, we're growing, experiencing creatures, constantly evolving, constantly learning life lessons. And one of those life lessons is joining with another and learning to be a bit more selfless. And so, there is a lot of give on that action, in that connection, as well as, we do want to get something back. But if we don't realize that give and take, things can kind of fester, can't they?
Oh, there's no question. Again, I'm only 50% of my partnership. If I treat my 50 as 100, what does my partner want to stick around for? They have to feel that their voice matters, that their opinion matters, and that we create our relationship, that there isn't just one person dictating terms.
And we can't kind of let these things extend. As I understand, you feel it's important that we address them in a timely manner.
Yes. I completely understand the tendency to say, well, gosh, I don't want to have a fight right now. Let's just not talk about it. And you know what? Timing is important. But you have to create an atmosphere where you know that if you have a grievance or your partner has a grievance, we're going to have time and space to work it out, and it's not going to get swept under the rug. And a lot of people really just push and push and push, and they never have resolution over issues, so they pop up time and time again.
And that's how disagreements grow into arguments, right?
Yes. Well, this is, again, I love this concept because people tend to think they're the same thing. They are very, very different. A disagreement is healthy. I'm sharing an opinion, you're sharing an opinion, and they happen to be different opinions, but it's done in a respectful manner. Once we cross that threshold and disrespect opinions, either by invalidating them or challenging them, we go into an argument. And we end up using really damaging, really disrespectful language like, you should, you shouldn't, why do you, why don't you, you always, you never. There's really inflammatory phrases that completely take you off that course and move from the disagreement to the argument.
Yeah, and as you're encouraging us to recognize the other, be open to the needs of your partner and everything, I encourage people to recognize that a lot of disagreement actually comes from definitions of words or the fact that words have different meanings to people. So reflecting on what you were just saying, can you talk for a moment about the importance of sometimes stopping to check definitions?
Oh, you know what? I love this concept because you're 100% correct. It's semantics. My definition, let's say, of romance, maybe that means candles and chocolate. Your definition of romance is sitting down and actually just talking to each other and looking each other in the eye. So if you don't take a moment to really clarify those terms, and, romance is just an example, but this goes across the board, you may end up having a conversation where you really think you're understanding your partner and they're trying to communicate something completely different. So yes, that's a great point.
And so it's important to explicitly verbalize that. Take a moment, explicitly verbalize that in the conversation, right?
Absolutely. Or to even say, hey, I noticed that you're using that word romance. What does that mean to you? Let's make sure that we're on the same page with what we're actually talking about.
Yes. And so this has been a great discussion about being more aware of the other. If you're feeling lonely in a relationship, let's start with you reaching out, showing that you care. And a lot of that comes from not hearing properly. So, let's make sure that everybody's listening, acknowledging, and giving equal weight to their partner's situation. Once you've got the communication going, another big area of disconnect can be we're both in separate ruts, right?
Yes. In a long-term relationship, the benefits are obvious. You have companionship, you have somebody to spend time with, but life can be a little monotonous. We're bill payers, we're parents, we're house cleaners, we're errand runners. Those are not real sexy things. They're necessary. They keep our lives running, but they don't help add to the connection in the relationship, and frankly, they can detract from it. So to me, you have to be able to inject novelty into your life, whether that means trying a new restaurant or doing a new activity, taking a vacation. Really, really critical to have something new to look forward to, and a lot of studies have proven that just doing something different, whatever that means for the two of you, can really add to connection.
Now, so if we take heed to this, listen to our partner, give equal weight, add some novelty, that will fill that emotional bank account. And with a couple of minutes left, are there a couple of things that people could do to help refill that emotional bank account?
Absolutely, and I love that you're talking about the bank because my first tip is for each partner to make a list of what they could add to their emotional bank account. This is really important because what is really significant to me that will really add money to the bank may be very different than what resonates with my partner. So after each completes a task, partners trade lists, and they treat them like a homework assignment because now they've just sort of created a roadmap for how to restore connection for each of them.
Alrighty, and with about a minute left, the next one?
and commit to what I call Sunday sit-downs. Once a week, partners sit down to evaluate the ups and downs of the week, to make sure that, they're acknowledging the successes, addressing what needs to be improved. During this check-in, you can discuss specific requests or make plans to spend time together, and generally just take a temperature check of the relationship.
Well, very good. Now, again, I'm speaking with Allison Cohen, and you can learn more about her at lifeissuespsychotherapy.com, lifeissuespsychotherapy.com. Allison, you've been at this about 16 years, right?
I have. It's a long time. It's incredibly fulfilling for me, and it's inspiring to know that these tools work and they can help bring couples back to those feelings when they first started dating.
Alrighty, and tell us about, in about 30 seconds, a little bit about your experience working with a client.
Absolutely. I understand that therapy is a commitment in every sense, time, money, and effort, and people need relief as quickly as possible. Therapy does not have to take years. When I work with a client, they walk away from session one with specific tools to improve their relationship. And even though every client has different needs, I zone in on what those are and create a tailor-made treatment plan to help restore that connection. And over time and with practice, clients have those tools to manage their issues without having to come to therapy.
Well, very good. So again, Allison Cohen at lifeissuespsychotherapy.com. If you're in a relationship, yet you feel alone, start by reaching out to your partner. And again, you can learn how to do that at lifeissuestherapy.com. Back next time with more here on Movin' and Motivatin' Radio, powered by WSRadio.com.
Hi, Scale listener. This is David Finkel, co-host with Jeff Hoffman of Scale Your Business Radio. I wanted to let you know that our newest book, Scale, was just released and encourage you to get your copy. The book will give you 7 proven principles to grow your business and get your life back. It's for every entrepreneur who ever wondered if they really own their business or if their business owns them. It'll help you to work less by getting your business to produce more. Get your copy online or at your local bookseller. For more information, go to scaleyourbusinesstoolkit.com.
I have some good news for a change. With the stressful times upon us, having a regular glass of wine has proved in many studies to reduce stress. Want some more stress-relieving tips? VinVillage.com is an exciting new social organization connecting wine lovers around the country with an exclusive local and online wine lifestyle experience. Vin Village members can meet others online and in person, attend wine dinners and tastings, participate in forums, blogs, and wikis, purchase limited and exclusive wines, even create your own wine. You heard me. Create your own wine. And best yet, membership is free. So reduce some of the stress and have some fun. Join now and connect with thousands of other like-minded wine lovers. To learn more, go to vinvillage.com. That's www.vinvillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.